Marvel's new Eternals introduces 10 new characters into its expansive cinematic universe. But that's not all, it tosses out 2 more as the credits roll, one played by a pop superstar and the other a 2-time Oscar winner. Director Chloé Zhao's Eternals, in theaters now, centers on a crew of superheroes, including Angelina Jolie's Goddess of War Athena, Gemma Chan's matter manipulator Circe and Kumail Nanjiani's energy-tossing Kingo, sent to Earth 7,000 years ago by an all-powerful celestial named Arishem to protect mankind. The Eternals broke up after centuries together and have a reunion in present day only to find out why they're really here, to prepare for the emergence of a celestial seated deep within Earth that will birth a new galaxy yet wipe out the entire planet. How the new film breaks the Marvel superhero mold as a love letter to Earth and humanity. After also finding out that they've been unknowingly doing this job throughout the universe for millions of years, our heroes, following the deaths of Ayak, Salma Hayek, and Gilgamesh, Don Lee, and betrayal by Icarus, Richard Madden, and Sprite, Leah McHugh, work in unison to keep the Celestial from rising out of the ocean and save Earth in the process. A ticked-off Arishem absconds with Circe, Kingo and Phastos, Brian Tyree Henry, telling the trio that he will examine their memories to determine if humanity should be saved and promises, "I will return in judgment." It's a pretty epic finale that's arguably outdone by 2 end-credits scenes, which call up a couple of characters from the comic books to add intrigue to the MCU's future. Marvel's overstuffed Eternals is a star-studded exercise in superhero excess. Harry Styles makes his Marvel debut as Eros. The first end credits scene catches up with Thena, deaf speedster Macquarie, Lauren Ridloff, and mind control master droid, Barry Keoghan, who are on the spaceship Domo headed to tell other Eternals how they're being used by the Celestials. It's been weeks since they heard from their friends, so Thena figures Arishem's involved. All of a sudden, a drunk gnome-like dude pops up in the hallway and introduces himself as Pip the Troll, Patton Oswalt. He then proclaims the entrance of the cool and smooth Eternal known as Eros, a royal prince and brother of Thanos from the planet Titan, played by Styles. "Your friends are in big trouble and I know where to find them," Eros tells him after flirting with Thena a bit. Zhao actually was the one who pitched Marvel on using Eros, aka Starfire in the comics, and Pip in a scene hinting at one direction where a sequel could go. "They remind me of Han and Chewbacca, from Star Wars, Space Outlaws," she says. When we meet Eros, what effect did he have on Thanos and how did he get out of Arishem's grip? Clearly, has flying free right now. That story interests me greatly. The director had seen Styles' acting debut in 2017's Dunkirk and kept tabs on him, thinking he was an interesting actor who could bring a little bit of themselves into this character. Nanjiani wasn't in the scene with Styles, but the British singer visited the set and hung out with Eternals actors at a holiday party thrown by Hayek. Obviously, Hess extremely charming and very, very handsome, and that hair, that hair, but Hess just like a normal, very regular guy, Nanjiani says. "I was a little bit surprised that they picked a massive pop star to be a major part of the MCU going forward, but once I met him and then I saw him on screen, I understood." Come for Black Knight, stay for Blade. Cersei's boyfriend Dane Whitman, Kit Harington, doesn't get much screen time in Eternals, but at the end, he's about to tell Cersei something important about his lineage. It turns out my family history is complicated, when Arishem arrives and captures Cersei. The truth bomb Dane was about to drop probably has something to do with his scene after the credits finish, where Hess opening an ancient box with the ebony blade inside and a cryptic saying written on it, "Death is my reward." In the comics, Dane wields the magical sword with a blood curse that turns him into the Avenger called Black Knight. In Eternals, though, he's nervous about even touching it, as it hisses strangely in his office. "I'm sorry, I have to try," Dane says, reaching out as another voice off-screen warns, "Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?" Before signing on to Eternals, Harington read up on some of the stuff on the internet about Black Knight, and that was part of my decision-making process in coming into this, the Game of Thrones star says. Zhao loved Black Knight's Arthurian vibe but also the blood curse aspect. It's a very interesting aspect of a superhero, the addiction toward power and strength. We've seen that explored in the MCU before, but for Black Knight it's very physical, she says. How do you deal with the responsibility that comes with addiction? And that unseen figure? None other than Mahershala Ali making his first MCU appearance as Blade, the vampire hunter played by Wesley Snipes for 3 movies in the late 90s and early 00s. Marvel announced a new Blade movie starring Ali was in development at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con. Zhao points out that Blade's story also deals with a blood curse, since he's half vampire and immortal. "I love Blade, Hess, one of my favorite superheroes, so it's really exciting that the MCU is bringing him back.